to blame anyone else. There are some factors for how we feel on that.
That have been done plus many this
So who is uptown? Who is downtown?
I don't know.
Does anyone know who is uptown? Who is downtown?
I think you can. If you are joking, I will be on the hard and we talk before it gets deleted. Can you please clap for him? Nakulabako mu Icon Fellowship. Just tell us about yourself.
Should I stand? Hello everyone. Sorry. Hello everyone. My name is Masade Issa Yusuf and I acted in Chitala Chronicles, Soccer Heart. Thank you. And I'm happy and privileged that I'm going to
Sauti.
Respect.
Musajja akoze firimu naye tugenda mu opportunity to invite one of the great writers in the film industry, over to you. Let's he comes into the spotlight. Spotlight over here.
Can you see me from? He wanted me to go up there, but I wore heels so that you can see me, so I don't have to climb up. I am a writer, I'm a director, I'm a teacher of storytelling, and recently I was one of the directors for a TV show called Beloved that was airing. I was one of the writers, I'm one of the directors of Prestige. I directed the pilot of Family, and I'm also a teacher for storytelling at the Moth. The Moth is an organization is based in New York, and we teach personal storytelling. Personal story, yeah. Okay, there he is. So that's presentation. It's the arrangement of the actions and the dialogue. Content. It's like for your at the end. Yeah? This. This is where they live. This is what they do. This is the normal thing that happens. It doesn't have to necessarily. This was the normal. This is. In terms of normal, inciting action, something happens, it goes until enough. And then after going through all that, there is always something that you have learned from a story. After going through, let me very, very. A man slapped me, and I was mostly because I was told just. So I became about that, not because I had not been beaten before, but because I was an adult, you know, and I was like, no. I don't deserve this. Another thing happened, the producer said, okay, the credit of that directing is going to be mine, the producers. So so we are rehearsing for this play. Cut call, you know, I was chubby, and they are commenting about my ass, my what, and stuff. There were security guards there some time back. There was a bank, I don't know whether it's still there. So I go up and down. So I started crossing the road. When I approach them, I cross, I go to the other side. Yeah? When I'm coming back down, I first walk past them, and then I cross and I go the other side, yeah? And then one day, I'm crossing, and I'm like, no, I'm so you're not directing this thing. Like, you are not going to take the credit for directing. So I'm walking, and then they go like, baby, sweetie, what? And I didn't cross. So I go to them, because I'm a bitter uncle, yeah? I need someone, just someone to tell me sorry for all the wrongs that they've done to me. So I turn to the guy, the security guy, and I'm like, that's not my name. Like, my name is not Sweetie, you know? My name is not Baby. And he's like, you go. We call all your friends what? We do all this, you know, to all your friends. And I'm like, I want you to apologize to me. So I intensified a situation before I was, yeah? So I'm like, apologize to me. And he says, no, go. And I'm like, I'm not leaving. And then he says, so he gets his gun. He's like, you know, I can shoot you. This is a bank. And I'm like, you know, I know where your offices are. Either you're shooting to kill me, but if you leave me alive, I'll go to your offices. apologize to me, and I go. So another security guard joins us, and he's like, what's going on here? And I'm like, he said this and this, he called me baby sweetie. And they've been doing this the whole week, we've been doing assholes. Such a little thing, go. Say I'm not leaving, another one comes. So they're like, and this fourth one comes, he's really, like really big and masculine and what, and they all hold guns because it's a bank, yeah? And I'm there and like this woman facing them off. And I'm like, I need you to apologize to me that I've faced throughout the week. Achievement for me because I had never stood up to anyone until then, you know, because I came from a family where I was beaten. I still have scars from beatings from like family and from school, and this is the first time I actually told someone that no, I won't take this. So because of who I was, I escalated a situation. That is what usually happens when you're creating stories. Because of who the characters are, they escalate a situation or they deal with it in a different way. Someone calmer, maybe a Mutoro, would have walked away. You know, a sweet girl would have walked away, but I'm not sweet, you know. So that is storytelling, is you create characters because of who they are. And then they face these hurdles until the moment when they stand up and say no. They turn back, and then after confronting that, they learn something. So my volunteers, you have that? Okay, so what usually happens is the brief of that is what you usually put in a treatment. The narration of that is the treatment. You get it? Like that's the treatment. If you want to write a treatment, you just narrate the events of the whole story. And then when you're writing a script, you add the dialogue, you add what they said, you add what, all that, and that's it. I think my work here is done. People always ask, because I've worked on the top series that are airing right now, and script writing for a series is not very much different. The only different thing is you call what we call a brainstorm, where you invite the group of writers that you are sure are good, you bring them in a room. I've been in a room like with one of the writers for Chadala 3. It's a hot one coming up with Charlie over there. So you just bring these people in the room and then you start narrating the story, you grow the characters, you're like, this character should be like this character should be like Rema, this character should be like Mulindwa, this character is like this. You do what we call a character breakdown, and then you do the character storyline, and then you break it down in terms of what? Of the treatment, and from the treatment, you do the script. That's it, and you give the writers the treatment to break it down. So most times, and I've been lucky enough to be part of some series that they've approved for commission, most times it's the stage of pitching, where you're growing these characters. That's where sometimes you get it or sometimes you don't get it. So I always tell people, is create a writer's room before you pitch, because when you pitch alone, it's just one person's, POV. While when you have like 5 people creating this world, then usually there is more magic there. Yeah? So do you have any questions about that before I get my volunteers to tell us stories? Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I would like to ask, as you're writing, how do you deal with block? Like when you're blocked in the middle of the series or in the middle of the film, like how do you deal with that block, the writer's block?
I don't force it. So I've been like, I've also like tried out some things that fellow writers have said. For example, taking a shower helps. Like it really helps. And also just putting it off, because I really believe that creativity, like stories, are divinely guided. Yeah? There is skills that you learn, how to craft the arc and everything, but the story flow of how this character should move from this place to another, I feel like you get a lot of guidance from, from divine, powers that be. So give it time, yeah? If it fails today, sleep on it. Like today was the deadline for one of the top script writing programs in Africa, and I knew I wanted to get into that program. And just these scenes were not coming. And then this morning I was like, let me give it one more time, one more try. And I was like, then the flow came, because there is a flow. And there is a flow in writing, like there is a flow when people are playing like basketball. There is a flow in sports and everything. So time for me works, meditation works, just processing it and living it, You ask questions. You know how you pray to God sometimes, I'm facing this, please help me, or where should I take this character? Then you pray on it and then you expect answers, and they come, always. They come. Any other question?
Questions?
Okay.
Questions in the house?
So my volunteers who want to tell a story first.
Over there.
Yay, come.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Natkunda Blessing. I'm an actress and I'm a screenplay writer.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you a short story in my childhood.
Okay. True story.
Yes, true story.
Maximum 5 minutes. Don't go past that.
It is well.
Okay. All right. Let's watch.
So I grew up being a very, very stubborn girl when I was still young. And I'm this kind of person that kind of hated working. So I had this tough auntie. She washes her clothes, a lot of clothes, and then puts them on the wire. And then she tells me later that Blessing, when the clothes they dry, go remove them and put them in the house. So she calls me later. She's like, Blessing, the clothes dry, but I was playing. I didn't want to remove the clothes from the wire. So what I do, I come and I check the clothes. They were all dry, but I get water and I sprinkle on the clothes. And then I told her they are not. So I went back to play. She told me the second time she called, clothes dry. I'm like, yeah, they are not yet dry. Meanwhile, she had cameras in her room. So she could see whatever I was doing from out. I didn't know. Anyway, I knew she had, but then at that moment, I didn't have that wisdom. So the third time she comes on the window, she's like, are the clothes dry? I do it the third time, and baby's watching me live. Guys, I was worked. So I was so caned, and yes, I had to remove the clothes, and I served my punishment.
Okay, do you want to do a little exercise with me?
It's okay.
Okay, so this is a good opportunity and for me to teach, yeah? So stories involve some sort of conflict or another, yeah? What would you say is the conflict in your story? Think of it in terms of what did you want and what was stopping you. What did you want?
I wanted to play.
You wanted to play.
I wanted to play with my friends. And what was stopping me is the time I'm going to remove all those clothes from the wire, fold them, take them to the house, and yet there is fun. So it was conflicting, my activity.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So what did you learn from that?
Hey,
After they caned you, what did you learn?
of course not to lie, to be obedient, be a good girl, and all those things yeah.
So that's it. That's storytelling. Is you put the conflict, you learn something, there is something that you want, there is something stopping you from getting it. That's it. Thank you. Okay, who is the next person who wants to tell a true story? 5 minutes. Don't rush it. Include conflict.
Hello, everyone. You can call me Leno, but my full names are Lennox, with double N. I'm an editor with experience of 4 to 5 years right now in the industry. One of the pioneers, Prestige TV series, editors, post-production. So I'm going to tell you about my story, which is a true story that I learned from. In my childhood, I didn't grow up so much with my mom because of issues that I didn't really tend to. Because I had issues with my auntie I stayed with. Then I was not with my mom, my biological mother. But then the fact that I had my grandma who loved me so much, whereby I felt like I was supposed to be pampered like a chejo. I don't forget that. Yeah. So the time whereby one time I don't want to work anymore when I want to eat good food and watch TV, play, do other stuff. But when she's not there, my auntie gives me work to do, like go fetch water, you bring the jerrycans, do what? Time for TV is always so short for me. I don't like it, so I didn't like her for that. One time she did it so rough on me. I was from playing. I was supposed to fetch water. I took breakfast, I had lunch, ran off, and went to play in the field with my other guys and friends, football. So when I came back, she asked me, where are you from? What I did, I told her I'm from playing football. Then I gave you an assignment. When I ran away, she's like, come back. I was going to close to her, she had to hold me. When she left, she gave me a slap in the face. I walked away. I stayed very far from her and I abused her. An obscene word I had from my friends. The Kuma word. I had to give it to her. When I said that word to her, she told me, why did you say that to me? Then I was a bit nervous, but I felt okay for that time. I felt relieved. Because I was always having that hard feeling that I should give this woman one day, or I slap, or I punch, but I can't do it because I was just 5 years. So I abused that obscene word, then I ran off. But within the meantime that I needed to go shower, do other things, and I was scared that I abused her as an older person. It's wrong to do that. So, trying to apologize, I'm regretting myself, like, because grandma's not here. Grandma might come back at 8 or even 9 from work. So I was like, what can I do? I have to go and bathe. They'll ask me, why didn't you bathe yet? Well, what were you doing? Now I was like, if she knew also I was bad character when she was not home, how would that be? So I had to go and apologize. I had to apologize. I didn't like it. I forced myself to go and apologize after what I did. Yeah, we were good, but the next day, same system again. So I had to go used to it somehow like that. I felt a bit wrong. I had to hide it from myself. Till I lost my grandma. I didn't tell about that story, but it was part of me. That made me grow up and learn that sometimes you be on your own and you have to judge the condition you're going through, so you'll be always safe with everyone.
That what? I didn't catch the last part.
The last one,
Yeah. You
What?
learned what?
I learned that when you're always at confused, you don't have to decide so fast, and also you have to remember that you're always sometimes on your own, and you have a decision to make before you do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I love that. I love that you're learning something from it. And sometimes you write characters that are so shallow, like they go through, especially series. Thank you, Lennox. They go through a series of events, and they come out the same, you know? Like nothing changed about them, nothing was different about them. So whenever you're creating a character, make sure they come out different, you know? Something. By the way, another thing is because the characters we create are flawed, it also means they may not necessarily learn from it, but they have come out changed. They will deal with the next issue in their life in a series like a changed person, you understand? But there are always those flaws there, those inherent flaws. Okay, which one of you wants to go next? Just try to hold the microphone as close as possible.
Hello, everybody. My name is Black Sugar. Because I'm black, bold, and beautiful, but my national ID name is Linda Naibare Mutunji. The story I'm going to tell you is about, I call it carved rose, because roses have their thorns, but some roses are best when they are sculpted. And it's a story of how I got comfortable in my skin. So, if I'll go with your breakdown, the normal would be a child who loses a mother at 6, but is raised by her father and his family. Who
Let me jump in just a little bit. Keep saying I did this. Just
you
try
want
it.
me to use the I?
Yes.
Okay, great. The normal is I lost my mom at the age of 6, and I was raised by my dad and stepmom, who I would say my entire family is light-skinned, very light-skinned. So I grew up being told...
Hello, excuse me, this is just 5 minutes. Can we give her attention for just 5 minutes? Thank you.
So like I was saying, I was raised in a family where I was the literally black sheep of the family. And the normal words for me to hear were, you're ugly, you're dark, you don't deserve love, and you're adopted. I remember one of my aunties, several people kept telling my dad, get a DNA test for her. And my father always said one thing, none of you met her mother, so you don't know her, and she's my child, and that's all that matters. And growing up, like I said, these were things that I always had, things that I was always told as a child. When I met 13, girls, you get crushes, you want to be dateable. I was in a miss school, and I remember my friend tugged me along, and one of the guys who was there was like, oh my God, you're not even dark, you're purple. And the person saying this, ironically, was very dark. And he found it comfortable to call me purple, which in a way it crushed my soul, but... And then he said, oh, also dark people need love. So part of me grew up thinking I am undeserving, The turning point for me would be my father consistently. I say consistently. Even if you brought him to stand here and introduce his children, he'll be like, where's my black beauty? Where's my beautiful daughter? And that for me was always a turning point. And it empowered me in a way that I ignored growing up. But I realized that when I went to campus and my friend gifted me bleaching cream and told me, because she was bleaching, and she told me, you're beautiful, but you need to stand out. You need to go in a room and stand out. And she gave me bleaching cream for my birthday. I ended that friendship very fast because I kept remembering that I am a spitting image of my mom. She's a very beautiful woman. I am smart. I'm intelligent. And for love, it starts with me. So that's my story. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing it, and more power to you. Like,
Thanks.
and you tell it so beautiful. I would really love to work with you on that story, like even after this. So maybe we'll talk after.
Sure. Thank you so much.
This is the end of the script. I had just one more person. Okay, the very last volunteer. Let's show her some love.
Hello, hi.
It makes you look beautiful, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so my story is going to be called A Chance to Love. It's kind of a love story.
Is it a true story?
Let me tell you a story about how I fell in love with my lecturer.
Okay.
So, I met the most intelligent man to be alive on planet Earth. He was dazzling every time he would come in the room, and we just close our books and we open in the back and we start doodling and we start drawing hearts. Every woman, every girl was dying for him. He was called Michael, and hi guys, I'm called Dean. So this is a love story between Michael and Dean. So one day I decided to approach my soon to be called Mr. Right. I go to him in the lecture room and I look at him straight in the eyes and I told him, you make my heart beat. And I was shaking. I don't want to lie to you. I was shaking. I was trembling. My body was lost. My feet were in the wrong place, but my heart felt right. And I remember him looking at me and he said, it will never be possible, not in this life and not in the next life. And it hurt so much. I don't want to lie to you. It did hurt. And I went back and I told my friends that I've been heartbroken before it even began. And my friend said, why are you heartbroken? You can approach him and push and continue pushing, and one day he's gonna be yours. So I went straight to him and I said, Michael, I didn't say Mr. I said, Michael, this is gonna happen. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna happen.
I have to ask, how old was he? Like, how old did he look?
He was in his 30s and I was just entering my 20s.
Wow, okay.
And so Michael laughed and he left. And so I began, as you know it, I dressed to kill, I dressed to seduce. I push and I push and I push harder. And I remember I wrote one letter and I sent it to him and I said, hey, stop making me beg. Give me this chance. it took me a year and a half to finally have a yes from him. And when he said yes, he said, I guess this is going to be a short time. I didn't know why he said that, but I was happy and I didn't care. And yes, love began, but love was short. Love was only 3 months. And love broke my heart. How? Love decided to die. Yes, love was sick all along and love didn't tell me. I kept on pushing and pushing and he wasted 1 year and a half just to give me 3 months of my lifetime. And I hated him. I remember standing on the graveyard and looking at him and saying each and every day of my life, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And yeah, that's how I had a love story that was short. Yeah.
Okay, I have questions. Was this the first time you had pursued a man?
And I also have an answer. So if you were really touched with my love, please thank you because this is just a story that I've created. It's
That's
not
what?
true. It's not a true story. Thank you.
Okay. I'm a little heartbroken as a true storyteller teacher, but also there are elements there that you were taking that would make up a good story, yeah? Maybe you're a good storyteller, so I'll just want to say thank you for sharing your story with us. And Haman, I would like to wrap this session. Thank you very much. So there are elements in, what did you like about her story, even if it was fake? What's the thing that you liked? You know, sometimes we say we are writing a romance, but there are different kinds of romance. There is a forbidden element in that romance, yeah? When I asked the age, it was just a huge age gap. And perversely, there are some people who like that, you know? So you lean in a little bit. So there are some elements there. So when she said I stood on the grave and she said, fuck you, that's why I was like, is this really true? It felt a little, you know, unbelievable. But yeah, so forbidden romance, the age gap, these are some of the things that you can think of when you are creating stories, is just not go the common route, try and go like, you know, a different unexpected route, yeah? All right, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for sharing your stories, your fake stories with me. And yeah, thanks.
Let's clap for her again. Yeah, so Mr. Mulindo was asking.
Are you translating for him?
You see, I'm going to ask in English. So Mr. Mulinda was asking, can you write a script in Uganda? Because he has a city, wants to do it in Uganda.
I can write.
You can write it in Uganda?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So Mulindwa, you're sorted. Kalimu Ojakamua. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. It is okay. Mulindwa has money, you man.
We shall talk.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it back to Rehema. Let's give her a hand clap.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rehema. Before you go, please wait for us, and then we shall be having another discussion and a talk. Any last question you have for Rehema before she leaves? Okay. Calvin, wherever you are, please come down here.
woman falls in love with the best friend of her son. So there is a conflict already there, you know? So you want to include the conflict. You also want to include the main character. Like a Makerere University student is robbed, or a Makerere University student find himself in this and this and this. Or a group of men find themselves doing this and this and this. But it's about this person, the conflict of that person, and that's the log line. But you should always keep it to 1 or 2 sentences.
Of screenwriting and screenplay. Thank you so much, Rema. Let's clap for her again. So that was amazing. What I took away from Rema's session was that sometimes good stories can be inspired from sad moments, from personal sad moments, but also the good moments. Yes, so thank you so much for educating us. But I have good news. Who's ready to hear the good news? Who's ready to hear the good news? So our executive producer, do you know who our executive producer is for Sabotage when you become Manchadala? Has sent me to share that the soft drinks are on the house. So if you want to have a soft drink, let it be a soda or water, it's already paid for. You can go and pick it for free of what? Free of what? But also we are serving cocktails. So you are entitled to receive 1 single cocktail, which is also paid for. But if you want to take a beer, Media Hub has discounted it from 7,000 to 5,000. That one, for the beer, you have to pay for yourself. Okay, so let me see people who are in the house. Let me feel some energy. DJ. DJ Pulo. Or 2 beers, but also the soft drinks are free of charge. So our next on the agenda, we are going to be hearing from one of the most resilient people, and that is going to be none other than